Have you ever felt so scared, so overwhelmed by your own thoughts, that you'd do anything to escape? Imagine if anything meant creating entirely new realities. That's the fascinating and, frankly, terrifying premise we're diving into today. We're talking about a very special kind of hero, one who isn't battling dragons or aliens, but the monsters inside his own head. And his superpower? The ability to warp reality itself, just to get away from his fears. This isn't your typical hero's journey. Most stories are about confronting darkness, about facing your fears head-on. But what happens when the hero's primary instinct is to run? Not just to another city or another country, but to another dimension entirely, one meticulously crafted to have none of the things that terrify him. It's a brilliant, if flawed, survival mechanism. Think about it. If you're afraid of failure, you create a world where you're always successful. If you're haunted by loss, you build a reality where everyone you love is safe and sound, forever. On the surface, it sounds like a perfect solution, a utopia built for one. So let's break down how this works. Our hero, let's call him Alex, has a traumatic past. Maybe it was a childhood event, a profound loss, or a constant feeling of inadequacy. These aren't just bad memories. They are active, predatory fears that stalk him in his waking moments and haunt his dreams. His reality-bending powers didn't just appear out of nowhere. They manifested as a direct response to this psychological pressure. It's like a fight-or-flight response on a cosmic scale. His mind, unable to cope, chose flight, and his powers gave him the ultimate escape vehicle. The first reality he creates is often a simple one. A perfect day. He wakes up, the sun is shining, the coffee is just right, the traffic is non-existent. Every tiny annoyance of his real life is smoothed over. It feels amazing, a breath of fresh air. But the relief is temporary. Because the fear isn't in the bad coffee or the traffic. It's inside him. And sooner or later, a shadow of that old anxiety starts to creep in at the edges of his perfect world. A fleeting thought, a familiar scent, a dream that feels a little too real. This is where the cycle begins. The moment his created reality is contaminated by his fear, he abandons it. He has to. The whole point was to escape, so the second the escape route is compromised, he builds a new one. The next reality might be more complex. Maybe this time, he's not just having a good day. He's a successful artist, universally loved and admired. He surrounds himself with praise and adoration, a thick wall to keep out the whispers of self-doubt. He lives in this reality for a while, basking in the glow of his own creation. It's intoxicating. For a time, he forgets what he was running from. He feels safe, maybe even happy. But the human mind is a tricky thing. Even in a self-made paradise, it seeks authenticity. The constant praise starts to feel hollow. The pre-programmed success feels unearned. His subconscious knows this isn't real, and it starts sending signals. He might have a nightmare where his paintings are blank, or the cheering crowd suddenly turns silent and judgmental. His fear of inadequacy has found a crack in the wall and is seeping through. And so, the cycle repeats. He flees again, abandoning his life as an artist, and jumps into the next construct. This constant fleeing has a profound effect on our hero. With each new reality, he loses a little piece of himself. The original Alex, the one with the trauma but also with genuine experiences, friends, and a life, gets buried deeper and deeper under layers of fantasy. He becomes a collection of idealized personas. The successful artist, the brave adventurer, the beloved family man. But none of them are truly him. He's living 1,000 lives, but he's not really living at all. He's just a tourist in his own fantasies. This is the central tragedy of our hero. His greatest power is also his greatest weakness. It allows him to survive, but it prevents him from healing. Healing requires confrontation. It requires you to sit with your pain, to understand it, and to learn to live with it. You can't outrun your own shadow because it's attached to you. By constantly creating new realities, Alex is essentially hitting the snooze button on his emotional growth. He never develops the coping mechanisms to deal with his actual, real-world problems. What's more, there are consequences to this reality hopping. What happens to the worlds he leaves behind? Do they just dissolve into nothingness? Or do they continue to exist, like empty stage sets after the actor has left? Imagine the people he creates in these worlds. The loving spouse, the adoring children, the loyal friends. To him, they may be constructs, but in their own reality, they are real. So when he leaves, what happens to them? Does a wife wake up to find her husband has simply vanished from existence? It adds a layer of moral complexity to his actions. In his quest to escape his own pain, is he inadvertently causing pain to others, even if they are beings of his own creation? This leads us to the potential turning point in his story. The escape can't last forever. There are two likely paths for a character like this. The first is collapse. The mental energy required to create and sustain entire universes is immense. Eventually, he might burn out. The walls between his realities could start to break down. He defined himself glitching between being a rock star on Mars and a simple fisherman in a quiet village, unable to control which reality he's in. His mind, stretched to its limit, would shatter, leaving him lost in a chaotic storm of his own making, the ultimate realization of his fear of losing control. But there's a second, more hopeful path, the path of acceptance. This turning point would come not from a bigger, better reality, but from a moment of failure. A moment where his power falters, and he can't escape. He's forced, for the first time in a long time, to face the very fear he's been running from. He's stuck, and in that terrifying, paralyzing moment, something incredible happens. He survives. The fear washes over him. It's agonizing, but it doesn't destroy him. This is the beginning of his true hero's journey. He realizes that running was only making the fear stronger, giving it power over him. The only way to truly be free is to stop running. This doesn't mean his powers go away. Instead, he starts to learn how to use them differently. Instead of creating new worlds to escape to, he might start by making small changes to his original reality. He can't erase the past, but he can use his abilities to build a better future. Maybe he uses his power to create a safe space, not a fantasy world, but a quiet room where he can practice mindfulness and work through his trauma with a therapist. He creates one programmed with all of human knowledge on psychology. He could use his power not to erase his fear, but to understand it. He could literally manifest his fear as a creature and have a conversation with it. He could revisit his traumatic memories, not as a helpless victim, but as a powerful observer, able to pause, analyze, and reframe the events, giving himself the closure he never had. His power transforms from an escape mechanism into a therapeutic tool. He stops being a refugee from his own mind and becomes its architect. This story arc is so compelling because it is a powerful metaphor for how we all deal with our own anxieties. Most of us can't bend reality, but we all create mental realities to escape our fears. We daydream, we get lost in movies or video games, we doom scroll on social media. We construct narratives where we're the heroes, where we always say the right thing, where we never fail. These are our own little pocket realities. And just like with our hero, they can offer temporary relief, but they don't solve the underlying problem. The journey of a hero who creates realities to escape his fears teaches us a profound lesson. True strength isn't about being fearless or creating a world without problems. It's about finding the courage to face the world as it is, and more importantly, to face yourself as you are, flaws and all. It's about accepting that darkness and fear are part of life, but they don't have to define it. The real power isn't in escaping reality, but in learning how to shape it and yourself for the better. So what do you think? Is a hero who runs from his fears still a hero? Or is the real heroism in the moment he finally decides to stop running and face the music? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like and subscribe for more content just like this. See you in the next one.